Welcome to John Obell channel. My name is Uncle Johnny. Today we are talking to someone who has traveled all over the world and he ended up coming to Australia. He's going to tell us his name and where he came from before he settled in Australia. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, Uncle Johnny.
What's your name, mate?
My name is Christian. People normally call me Awaga by my name. That's my last name, but people prefer to call it and assuming it's my nickname. So yeah, you can call me Chris or call me Awaga.
Yeah, I'll call you Chris. It's a bit easier. So, Chris, where did you come from before you settled in Australia?
Well, originally I come from Ghana, West Africa, and came to Australia a few years ago.
Yep.
But before then, I travel around a lot. I've been to several countries across the globe. Yeah.
So before traveling to all those other countries, from Ghana, who decided that you go away from your country? Was it you? Was it your parents? Or what made you to travel?
Well, basically, or to start with, when I was a kid, for some reason, I always want to travel abroad. Yeah. I always had a passion to travel. Among my friends, I always tell them, look, one day I just want to travel.
That was your big
abroad.
dream?
Yeah.
Travel
that was
away from Ghana?
When I was so young, like always looking at magazines, you know, look at all the beaches, you know, how beautiful the beaches look. You know, those things actually entice me. And I think one of the biggest reason also was my uncle, my mom's older brother lived in London. He was a doctor, and he died a few years ago. And we used to talk to him on the phone and stuff like that. So I would say that was another reason that enticed me to, you know, travel abroad.
Okay, so from Ghana, where did you go first?
Well, my first trip was South Africa. From Ghana to South Africa, it's about 5.5 hours flight.
Yeah.
And I had a friend there who was a mechanic. Yep. He was living there. I think at the time he was about 11 years in South Africa before I visited him.
Okay, so you're a friend from Ghana?
From Ghana, okay. That's right.
Yep.
And so that was the beginning of that was my first trip abroad.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still abroad. It's not
Ghana. South Africa is still in Africa.
It's still in Africa.
But away from Ghana. So you travel away from your original country. Yeah, that's traveling.
Yeah, that's right. So I was there for maybe a month.
Yep.
And then went back to Ghana.
Okay.
And and then went, you know, continued my normal duties or whatever I was doing at the time. And and then after that, I think I traveled less than a year. I went to Europe. I went to Denmark.
Denmark, yeah.
After Denmark, I went to...
How long did you stay in Denmark?
I was there for about 6 months.
Yep.
I also went to Sweden.
Yeah.
Same thing. Germany, I lived in Germany for about a year. I used to speak a bit of German, Dutch. I've also been to the US, and in the US I traveled across most of the states. I've been around the east coast of the US and then the western coast, you know, and then even the southern part of America. So I travel around across.
So each time you're traveling, you go back to Ghana,
correct,
and then go again,
correct,
stay for a while, and go back to Ghana. Okay. So when you went to this other country, did you find any challenges on the places you traveled to?
Well, I will start with South Africa.
Yeah.
When I first went to South Africa, even though it's still, within Africa, I think it was a bit different. The lifestyle over there and the way things are in South Africa, it's slightly different compared to Ghana. In South Africa, I think they have a blend or a mixture of European style or Western culture blended with the African culture. That's one thing I noticed in South Africa. So you sort of experience both Western,
Western culture and a bit of African culture.
And a bit of,
it's both mixed together.
It was very interesting. It was really good to, had such exposure.
So you stayed there for 1 month with your friends?
And
then you went back to Ghana?
I went back to Ghana. I lived in Ghana for a few months and then traveled to Europe. Pretty much every country I went to, I spent about a year, at least a year or 6 months, and then traveled back to Ghana. Lived there for another 6 or a year. Just depends on what is going on at the time, and then travel abroad again. And,
while you were traveling abroad, were you working on those other countries you were visiting, or you were just visiting and go back to Ghana?
Yes, I was doing part-time jobs just to sustain me, sustain my living. That's how I, went through my journey, my traveling around.
Which is the worst job you did while working overseas?
I would say I did a bit of cleaning job. There was a lady who was from Ghana. She was a permanent resident, or I would say a citizen in Germany. She gave me some sort of cleaning part-time job that sustained me a little bit as well. That's sort of.
What were you cleaning?
I was cleaning houses, or sometimes company institutions. You go to offices. Sometimes you go to, especially some of the jobs. Some of the cleaning job was at a restaurant, and the restaurant, it's a very big restaurant, so they have like a massive kitchen, and all the equipment is massive, like
big stuff.
So it was very intense, sort of.
The best job you did overseas?
Oh, best job. It's hard to think of a best job, but I'll say probably the best or good paying job I did overseas is here in Australia, which is it's a good paying job in the mines, and other than that, pretty much most of the job were.
Now before we start talking about Australia, I just want to know when did you decide that now I've visited all these other countries, now I want to go to Australia? How did that come to your mind and then you settle here?
Yeah, that's a good question. My last trip before Australia was South Korea. In Seoul. I had few friends. Along my travel journey, I make a lot of friends, both Ghana and abroad. And along the way, I had other friends who live in South Korea. So on my trip from the US, I was in Ghana for like 8 months and had a chat with some of my Korean friends, and not Korean friends, but Ghanaians living in South Korea.
South Korea,
yes. Some of them were teaching English. Majority of them were English teachers in South Korea. I had a chat with them and went and visited them, and that's how I ended up in South Korea. I was there for about a year.
Did you learn a bit of their language in South Korea?
I just actually learned the language. It was a bit harder to begin with, but as time went on, I sort of picked it up. And that was my last trip before I came to Australia. And before then, I had a friend who is an Australian. So we've been talking along the line.
Was he here in Australia?
No,
Or?
she lived here in Australia, but along my travel journey, we've been, you know, talking and, you know, chatting. And and then it got a bit serious, and I left South Korea, went back to Ghana for about, again, 8 months or a year. And and then I moved. That's how I moved to Australia.
So you moved to Australia because you found a woman?
That's right. That's right.
These women can take you anywhere in the world. Can you tell me a little bit of how that happened?
Yes. During my trip or my travel trip, I went to one of the neighboring countries, which is Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast,
I went there to apply for one of the European countries' visa. That is Belgium.
Belgium. You couldn't apply this visa in your Ghana?
No, we don't have a Belgian consulate.
Okay.
Or embassy in Ghana. So I had to either apply online through South Africa, or the other option was to travel to Ivory Coast.
Okay.
On my trip to Ivory Coast, I was staying in a motel, which is like a transport station. It's like a hub, main hub for all the buses traveling from Ghana to Ivory Coast. And I met this lady. That's when I met this lady at a bus terminal, and she was about to travel to Ghana. And she was traveling from Morocco. She went through other countries and then went through Morocco and then down to Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast,
And she was on her way to Ghana, Accra.
Okay.
And she was going to stay there for a few weeks. That's where we met.
So you approached her and talked to her, and you offered to be a tourist guide for her in Ghana.
Well, interestingly, what happened was she wanted to travel that very day to Ghana because she had everything scheduled and she had to be in Ghana, I think the next day or that very night. So she was in a hurry to get on the next bus, available bus, to Ghana. But unfortunately, the bus was fully booked and she couldn't get a spot. And what happened was, I think I approached her and asked her what the problem was. So she's traveling to Ghana. What's happening? Is she not able to get it? She was a bit frustrated. She didn't know where she was going to stay for the next available
bus.
So what happened was, I asked her if she still really want to go. I could help. And she said yes. So I approached. Of course, I live in Africa. I know the way they do things in Africa. And
you will find some help.
That's right.
A stranded lady in Ivory Coast.
That's right. Especially a white lady. You know, in Africa, stranded in Africa. It's a bit of a you know, not very pleasant.
You save the day there.
That's right. So, and as she said, of course, even though Ivory Coast is not my country, but across the whole Africa, we pretty much do things the same.
Things are the
so
same.
I know I could help. Anyway, long story short, I approached the terminal. What's the word? The guys,
the bus conductors.
I approached them and told them my story and what if there is any chance or anything they could do to assist
help this lady.
Luckily enough, one of the guys, and I said, look, I will make sure I compensate you if you're able to, give me a spot. And of course.
They did.
They said, oh, okay, we'll find a way to see if we could help. And I said, yeah, my friend, it's a friend, she's a friend.
She's a friend
you
now.
know, and
even though you've just met for a few minutes.
They
now,
didn't actually know whether we just met.
Yeah, okay.
So I said, oh, it's a friend. She's traveling to Ghana. She really, really needs to get to Ghana as soon as possible. So if you could help, that would be really much appreciated. And of course, you know, it happened, and I give them a tip or whatever it is.
You bribe them.
I don't want to use the word bribe because I don't want to use the word bribe because
you gave them a tip. That's the word I was looking for.
Give a little tip and or sort of a token. You know, I don't want to use the word bribe because across the whole Africa, it's a very serious, you know, topic. I don't want to get into that right now. So long story short, it happened, and they give her a very, very VIP spot on the bus, and she was very impressed, and she couldn't believe I did that for her. And she gave me her number, and I was still in Ivory Coast because I had to spend another 3 days. I wasn't traveling that day. I had to stay there for extra 3 days. So she gave me her contact details, and yeah, we got in touch after.
Contact details for where? For where she's going in Ghana?
She's using her Australian phone number, but on roaming.
Okay.
Yeah, international roaming.
Okay.
And
so you got a number?
That's right.
Okay.
And her other contact details.
Yep.
And she said, well, when you come back, just give me a call and we catch up. And yeah, that's how it all started.
Okay. So, Chris, if anybody from Australia want to go to Ghana, where can they go?
There are a lot of interesting places or very, you know, good places to go across the whole nation. I can't mention all of them off my head, but in Accra we have
just tell us the best places tourists from Australia can go, or anybody else who have got intention to travel to Ghana. Where are the best places to go?
Well, once again, there are a lot of good places to go, and the nation as a whole, it's a good place. So you're very safe. They like talking to, you know, foreigners. Very, very friendly. Country.
Like you did, like you talked
exactly,
to, like you talked to this beautiful lady, and you got the contacts.
Exactly.
Okay.
And and surprisingly, we were in touch for a few years before I actually came to Australia, because I was still traveling. At the time I knew her, we were still in touch during my travel. Or during my trips.
Yeah, but I just want to ask you about Ghana now. When we go to Ghana, what can we expect?
Well, it's pretty much the same across the whole, you know, continent. In Africa, I think most foreigners get a culture shock. Is that the right word? Culture shock. Yeah. So I would say it will be the same. You know, there are things you will see might not resonate with what you normally see in your, you know,
normal
native
country. Okay.
So I would say, in a gist, I would say, yeah, you will probably have a little bit of culture shock. For instance, you know, I think it happens across the whole continent. People carry stuff on their head. You know, you see teenagers carrying, you know, bucket full of water on their head. You know, walking from long distance. You know, you don't.
There are no taps in the house. So they have to carry water from very far away to the house.
Normally not in the big cities, but you know, when you go a bit further, you know, you will see such, you know, incident, or no incident, but you will see such scenes.
Okay, so basically, when somebody is traveling from Australia all over the world, they are going to Ghana. What type of animals can people see over there? Do you have like the big five, like the lion, the zebra, the
Very
elephant.
interesting question. We in around the western side of Africa, we don't really have those animals compared to the eastern side, which is Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa. Around those areas, I think most of those animals are around those areas. In Ghana, you can probably find the monkeys, crocodile, maybe elephants, you know, but not on a large scale like in the eastern part of the continent. Yeah.
Okay, so you have those funny animals.
So
like
most
monkeys.
of those, that's right. So most of those animals, if you want to see the real, you know, nature of those animals, I think the best side is the eastern part of the Africa, or eastern and southern part of the Africa. But in western side, you won't see much of those animals.
Okay, so just coming back to this beautiful lady you met, and then you came to Australia. What did you tell her? What did you tell her? So, and then you found yourself in Australia.
Well, we were friends, you know, talking, chatting, just like normal friends. You know, but then it's just like anything else. Like it's just like anyone else. You meet someone, you could be friends, and then the next moment, conversation changes to, you know, the topic changed into, you know, to something else.
And then
and she wasn't married at the time. She was single. She wasn't seeing
And you were
anyone.
single.
I was single. Travel, of course. I've been traveling around a lot, so I didn't really had a strong commitment to anyone. So and
who asked who to do something? Did she ask you, please come to Australia? Or did you say, oh, please, can I come to Australia to see you? Or something
well, a very interesting question once again. It got to a point, she was like, well, you've been to all these countries. Are you married? Aren't you getting married? Why are you still single? So it got to a point, that was my last trip to South Korea. She was like, so what's happening? What are you doing next? And I said, well, probably go back to Ghana. And she said, well, would you want to come and visit Australia? And I said, well, that's not a bad idea because I've never been there. You know, I move around a lot, but I've never been there. So if you can give me the invite, I'll give it a try. And that's how it all started.
So she's invited you.
Yes.
And you never went back to Ghana.
Now it's actually it's a long story to that. I had my first invitation. What happened was I couldn't apply for the visa because I didn't have a permanent resident. Because when you want to apply for a visa, you had to be a permanent resident in that country before you can apply for a visa from that country. It's the same thing anywhere else.
So which country were you? I thought you were in Ghana.
I was still, at this stage, I was still in South Korea.
Oh, South Korea.
So, and I said, well, I can't apply for a visa over there because I wasn't on a permanent resident. So I had to travel back to Ghana.
To Ghana,
And I said, well, what if I got refused? If I got rejected, I didn't get a visa, what are we going to do? And she said she would come over to Ghana. And I said, to do what? She said, well, we're married, so you come to Australia. And I said, okay, that's fine. And straight away, I just, bought a ticket and went to Ghana.
And she bought a ticket and came to Ghana too?
No, no, she didn't come straight away. I had an invitation, applied for the visa, got rejected. And I was given an appeal letter, which means you could apply again within certain number of
it's normally
period of time,
3 months or something like that.
Which I pretty much straightforward applied within a month. I applied again, refiled all my documents again, and then got rejected again a second time. Even though my second reason was, look, I've been traveling around a lot. You could see all the visas in my passport. I'm only going to visit this lady and then come back to my country. I love my country. Obviously, that's why I've been traveling, going back home. And that was my reason for the second appeal.
Okay.
And you could see my passport. I had two passports attached because the first one was full of visas. And the second one, obviously, it's the next,
you are still, it was current, you're still
anyways,
using it.
you guys could say it. So I don't get the reason why the reasons are not real, not real to me. I don't think it's a good reason to be
to get rejected, or
rejected,
refused,
or bounced back, bounced back. And guess what?
They approved it.
Second time got rejected again.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So she traveled. She bought a ticket and came to Ghana 2 weeks after. Straight to Ghana 2 weeks after the second appeal. Application
was rejected.
And we got married. Yeah, we did a traditional marriage and in Ghana, and it was just a quick one. And
so you
and then applied for a migrant visa,
and so that was approved.
That was approved. And I didn't apply in Ghana because we only had a consulate which doesn't deal with visa issues. It's the different. I think it's deals with foreign affairs issues or something. So you had to apply through Kenya, Nairobi, and that was through DHL. You file all the document together, put it in, apply through and send it through DHL to the embassy. And when they received the documents, I think they sent a delegate from Kenya. Came to Ghana to interview me personally, like face-to-face interview at their consulate.
Was your wife then with you in?
No, she was gone. She was only in Ghana for two weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
2 weeks, and then came back to Australia. And then I did apply and had a rep from
Nairobi.
Australia Embassy in Nairobi came to Ghana. I wasn't the only one interviewed on that day.
Oh, there
I
were
think
several
they had several applicants interviewed that day, and then it was granted. So I gave her my passport, and she took it and resent it back again through DHL. And then boom, that's how
your visa was approved. You came to Australia.
That's how I migrated to Australia.
Okay. When you first arrived in Australia, tell us. Okay, we want you to hold that thought. We'll be back. This is Uncle Johnny channel, and my name is John Obell. I will come back to talk to Chris about his first day in Australia.